Man, I sure wish I had material. I said I wish I had material right about now. I said I need some material right about.
Did somebody say material?
No, I say I need shoelaces with shoes inside it. Of course I need material.
Well, I have to bring you some Pokewave who doesn't know what the hell is he talking about.
Well, who is it?
An individual by the name of Eryizo.
Alright, I'm interested. What video is it?
He made a worst Gen 7 Pokemon list.
Okay, roll the intro. I'm covering this. Also, before we begin this video, I just want to bring up something that they said in the beginning.
And we should also mention that we're grading these Pokemon based on their use in competitive battle, which includes stats, movesets. You essentially know the drill.
Yeah, keep this in mind because it's gonna bite them back later.
Oh man, are people going to be pissed off at me? Coming in at number 10, we have the worst Ultra Beast competitive-wise of all time. Guzzlord. Like I said in a previous video, one of the biggest misconceptions about this Pokemon is that it's super bulky, which is just not true. Sure, it has a very high HP stat, but when you take a look at its defenses, that huge HP stat doesn't really matter as much.
Okay, so technically he's not wrong about this statement, as Guzzlord's defenses are both 53, which is pretty bad. However, I still have a problem. Why aren't you showing the stats of Guzzlord? I mean, those who aren't familiar with his stats will be confused and will question the validity of your statement. And if you want the viewers to look up Guzzlord's stats just to make sure what you're saying is actually true, then no. It should be your job as a presenter to present evidence within the video. And if you don't do that, well, it honestly makes you look lazy.
My weakness is hard.
Alright guys, number 9 on this list is going to have to be Incineroar, the fire type starter of Alola. Fun fact, a lot of people actually don't know this mod really isn't that good, and let me tell you why, right? Couple reasons being that fire types usually aren't the craziest things out there. Either they're really good, they're mediocre, or they're bad. And this one, he kind of fits in the low mediocre, kind of realming towards the bad area. He's weak to entry hazards, he has a couple weaknesses barring water and fighting, which are two common typings, and of course fighting being an insanely offensive typing, you kind of can't miss that. And of course when you think of fire types now with inside of the 6th generation and so forth honor since fairy types came out, you kind of want them to resist fairy, and he's neutral, so unfortunate, big unfortunate right there, I will not lie.
So, he's not resistant to fairy, so what? At least it's neutral to fairy due to its fire typing. I mean, by that logic, it should be useless against dragon types since it's neutral to dragon type moves.
And it took up until a year later for Ultra Sun and Moon to give him knockoff, which there's just no point now because he can run a better knockoff user.
Okay, just because there are better knockoff users, that doesn't mean Incineroar is useless as a whole. Like, hypothetical situation, but what if you didn't have said better knockoff users on your team? So let me ask you this, is Incineroar good by itself?
I swear I'll be gay.
Alright guys, number 7 on the list, Toucannon here today. Unfortunate that I'm on. Who's so mad? Just has to be on this list. So my guy Toucannon, sending nothing but positive vibes your way because I just feel like you're going to get more mad after this, and there's anything you can do about that. But unfortunately, Toucannon's on the list. I guess the few things that I can say about Toucannon being in the list is all of his stats are really, really poor for God knows why. I don't get it. Like, his attack stat is so juked up high, and that HP stat is actually really good. But then you have everything else, and you just go straight downhill, man.
So, you say that its HP stat is okay, which is 80. Then you go on to say that its other stats are bad. Well, I won't argue that its speed isn't all that great, being 60. Its defense, special attack, and special defense are 75. That's only 5 points below its HP stat, which you said was okay. Wow, that 5-point difference drastically makes it unusable. And don't worry, this bites him back later on. Also, must I mention the fact that it doesn't have to be good in every single stat in order to be good? Not every Pokemon has to be as strong as Arceus.
And I could understand that if, number 1, it had an insanely good ability. Number 2, if they just juked everything into speed as well, it actually made them a lot faster mon. Because a big issue that they actually have, just in the entirety of all Lowland region mons, is everything averages 40 to 60 speed. Why? I don't know.
Does the Pokemon really have to have good speed in order to be good? I mean, yeah, speed is important, but a Pokemon should not be bad just because its speed is less than subpar.
You probably hear a common reoccurring stat factor of us saying that it's just too slow, because I don't know why the Alola region gave us all these fresh new mons that are incredibly slow. And Toucannon, just the shoe fit. About Toucannon here today is that he has a decent ability Sheer Force, which is actually going to make him stronger. But it doesn't matter because he's not fast enough, even if you lock himself into a Choice Scarf.
So it can't make use of Sheer Force because of its low speed. You do realize that it having low speed doesn't remove the effects of Sheer Force, right?
I see, come on, Scooby-Doo.
I gotta say, one of my least favorite version exclusive Pokemon of all time has to be this ugly piece of garbage. Turtonator. And not only is its design trash, but competitive wise, oh man, this thing is bad. If you take a look at its stats, the only good thing about it is its defense. Besides that, everything else is complete garbage.
Hey, you know how I said a problem with this list would bring them back later on? Well, it's later. Your collab partner said not too long ago that Toucan has a good HP stat, which was 80. Now you're saying that Turtonator's other stats besides defense are bad. Now, let's take a look at Turtonator's stats. 85 in special defense and 91 in special attack. I'm pretty sure those numbers are greater than 80. Now, I'm going to be skipping to the next video because if I kept going on, I would be repeating myself. But I want to point out this one thing. Why is it that Eryizo has part 1 on his channel, but part 2 is on NumbNexus' channel? This isn't the only time that this happened either, like when Eryizo made this video on unused type combinations, where part 1 was on his channel, part 2 was on the Alchemist channel, and part 3 was on Elixion's channel. What's the point of continuing the countdown on another channel? Are you trying to promote your collab partner's channel? If so, you can link their channel in the description, it's not that hard. But anyways, let's get started with part 2.
You know we got a masturbate.
A Pokemon that I never thought would make this list has to be the Bloomsicle Pokemon Lurantis. I just thought that because this Pokemon was so good as a totem, it also had to mean that it was good competitively too, which sadly isn't the case. It's nice that it gets access to Contrary and Leaf Storm, but its speed and move pool don't really add up to making it a good offensive threat. And when taking a look at its stats and move pool, like I said, it's just not that good.
Wait, Lurantis has a bad move pool? Petal Blizzard, Aerial Brick Break, Night Slash, Poison Jab, Dual Chop, and Superpower are just some of the moves that I can learn by level up, tutoring, or TM. Learn to do your research.
And Grass as a solo typing brings itself to so many weaknesses. And with those pretty mediocre defense stats, don't expect to be living too many super effective hits.
It has base 90 in both of its defenses. I'm pretty sure that it has some longevity in battle.
Take it up the air sometimes.
Alright guys, so you're probably sitting here wondering now the most awful Pokemon from this list. And really sitting down thinking about it. I don't know how you're really going to feel about it, but sitting down to think about it, yeah, I'd have to give it a Shiinotic. Shiinotic is really... There's a lot of things I can say about Shiinotic. There's a lot, but I guess the number one thing I can say is this mon is horrid. It is actually bad. And I don't know if I'm going to trick a lot of people saying that because I don't know much people that like it. Now, if you watched my video last year, I talked about some video where I basically said some of my favorite mons from the Alola region and Shiinotic in there purely based off of his like creepy looking design, which I guess I kind of fuck with the creepy looking design. Yeah, that's not saving you to anybody. It's not. I mean, you would think that a fairy type just cannot be one of the worst mons from this game, but it is because there's a lot of things wrong with this. It's confusing. This mon is confusing. Look at stats. It's really confusing. It makes no sense. There's no sense of direction. You know, when you see Grass Fairy on paper, you think, okay, cool, it's gonna be bulky and defensive because you see Grass and Fairy and two typings that work together, bulky and defensive. You know, you quad root to poison, but you also resist Earthquake, and you also immune to, you know, you resist fighting moves, and you also immune to Dragon. 3 of the typings right there, which helps it a lot. But it doesn't save his case in here. You know, he's got 60 HP. No one's gonna use his physical offense, so he's got 45 attack. And then when you look at everything else that should be important, the defense, special attack, and special defense, they aren't bad. Yeah, it's like 80, 90, and 100. That 60 HP is really going to hold him back. It just really.
Shiinotic has an 80 in defense and a 100 in special defense. Even if it does have low HP, it can still stay alive against things that would normally one-hit KO it.
You know what I mean? There's a mon that's also similar to the same typing. Tapu Bulu and Whimsicott. Whimsicott has priority and it's insanely fast. And yeah, Tapu Bulu may have like a base 75 speed and may not be the fastest mon out there. It's like a freaking truck.
Okay, it's bad enough that you compare Shiinotic to Whimsicott because, well, Whimsicott has a different role in battle than Shiinotic, but then you go on and compare it to Tapu Bulu. You're comparing a non-legendary Pokemon to a legendary. Of course, the non-legendary is going to look inferior stat-wise because, you know, it's not a legendary.
and his ability helps him out so much. With Shiinotic, there really isn't much going on with it. I feel like if they would have given his HP stat at least like 85, 80-ish around HP stat, and instead of Illuminate, which has absolutely no competitive use at all, had they've actually given it like Regenerator, then maybe I feel like it'd be a little better. At least usage. The thing has abysmal usage.
It still has effect support though, which could potentially paralyze, poison, or put your opponent to sleep upon hitting it with a direct attack. Yes, Illuminate is a useless ability, as all it does is increase the chance of encountering wild Pokemon and does jack in battle, but you're acting like it's the only ability it gets when in reality, that's not the case.
It is next to almost not used at all. I just feel like this is a whole 5 minutes of me cooking up Shiinotic here. Trust me guys, I like the mod, but it's bad. Not to mention it's shiny. It's disgusting. That shiny is disgusting. Shiny is disgusting. Shiny is disgusting. Shiny is disgusting. And we should also mention that we're grading these Pokemon based on their use in competitive battle, which includes stats, movesets. You essentially know the drill. I'm sorry, the shiny is gross. You can't sit there and tell me that the shiny is good. The shiny is gross. It's actually disgusting. I don't even know how to put it. Like custard and dirt. It's disgusting, dude. It's foul. But yeah, unfortunately, the poor guy just can't do it. I think the few sets out there, especially defensive, like Math 15, defensive defense. I don't know. I think he has like Giga Drain for his only recovery. He gets Moonlight too. So I mean, I guess so.
It also has Ingrain, Strength Step, Dream Eater, and Leech Seed. Whoops! How do I live again? I'm gonna break my own wee in half. And after that, they just ramble about things. So let's move on to final thoughts. Wow, this list was an unappealing mess. Most of the time, he got most of the information wrong, were inconsistent when it came to stats, and basically said that because it's not good in a certain stat, it's automatically bad. I highly doubt either of you will watch this video, but on the off chance that you are, here's some advice to both of you. Do your research and learn to be more consistent when judging these Pokemon. You claim to be a fan of Pokemon, the least you can do is do research on the video before releasing it. So what should I do for an outro skit?